So, Al, I know it's a bit of unknown, but it'd be good to speak about plans for the rest of 2020 and how you're looking after yourself and your mental health. Because I know we've talked about training and different things like that, but this is probably a struggle we've never had as athletes before on our mental health. And I think with the awareness, we've started speaking about mental health a lot more. We're a lot more aware of our feelings. So, how are you feeling mentally about the situation, and how are you looking after your well-being apart from just training?
For me personally, I work in 4 year cycles. It comes the games comes around every 4 years. We're in that fourth year now. Everything's heightened, all the motions, all this is what it's all for. And it's all over in 40 minutes. So it can change your life, or it can go the wrong way, which no one likes to see. But I was feeling good. I've had a tough couple of years myself, and I really was struggling because I achieved everything I wanted to do at the age of 20. I wanted to win London 2012, even though I was ranked 12th in the world. And I went in there being a fearless kid, and I did it in front of 75,000 people. And that was it. So for me, it was just like, okay, after that, a lot of people were like, okay, he's a bit lucky. So for me, it was just proving myself. And over the years, I've done that. Won the Welsh able-bodied champs, came fourth able-bodied in the British champs last year. So it's like, this was the next step to take the Tokyo. And when it first got announced, obviously you're gutted. Everyone's gutted. No, but at the same time, it's a blessing in disguise. I was supposed to be away for 4 months, training here around the world, which is obviously I love doing, probably the best part of the job. But would have missed the most important time with my daughter, my fiance, and seeing her grow up, it's kind of put things into perspective, because no medal will kind of replace seeing her running around, growing up and whatnot. So for me, that's where I've kind of put all my energy into my family for the time being, because this is going to have to wait another year now. I'm not going to lose 15 years worth of hard work overnight. I need to be smart, and that's what I'm doing. I've got a great team, making sure that every day, I'm sticking to 75% of my usual schedule if I can. I'm just enjoying family time. I think that's been the most important thing, because I put everything into throwing. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it drains me. And it's a selfish sport. Sport is selfish. You have to, do what's best for you. Always remain like a student. Always learning. Always evolving. Always giving 110%. It's very, very draining. So I can't echo how lucky we are right now to take this opportunity just to switch off, not overthink, and enjoy what you've got around you, because that's important at the end of the day. That is the most important thing.
Yeah, it's awesome to hear that, and it's awesome to hear how the space you're in mentally as well as physically. So next we get to speak now to Nia about your 2020 plans, Nia, and lots has changed, but from speaking to you, it looks like that you're in a good place, not only physically but mentally, and you're doing a lot to support others physically. But how are you looking after yourself mentally around work and training, and doing what you can through this strange period, Nia?
Yeah, I think, it's important to emphasize that, even I wake up sometimes in a mood and I don't know why. We all have down days, and for no apparent reason. Your coach will always say, is there anything changed in your routine, or, can you add anything together as to why you're feeling that way? And sometimes there just isn't. Sometimes you just wake up and you're in a bad mood and it's cool. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong. But we do then have, decisions that we can make throughout that day to try and make us feel a little bit better. And, I think we'd all agree in this chat that the answer to that a lot of the time is a little bit of exercise, or just doing something you enjoy and spending time with people that you enjoy spending time with, which at the minute we're actually not allowed to do. So, something I'd say for people that are struggling with a bit of motivation, something I found beneficial when I've been feeling a little bit meh, is just put your kit on. So a lot of the time, the hardest thing is just getting up and putting your kit on. Once you've got it on, it's a lot easier to get out and do your session. For us, the only way we can go to a Commonwealth Games is if we're top 12 in the world. So those ranking points for us throughout the autumn were totally vital. So if we don't get to go, we'll just have to try and put other things in place and maybe look to play the home nations for our ranking points. But we've got a new squad, we've got a new coach. This has impacted the training time, the connection time we've got together. But as Al had said, it's an opportunity to just slow down. Everybody just you're in the hamster wheel of just getting up, training, going to work, coming back, you make food, you go to bed, and you don't have time to think about a lot of things. So
definitely hugely important. But Nia, what about just going back to some of those mornings you said you wake up and you do feel a bit and how do you still stay connected now to your support network, or what things do you do to pick yourself up at that point? Obviously we talked about the physical things, but is there anything else you do?
Yeah, we actually had a chat with my squad about it this week, and actually as soon as one person said, I've been feeling really rubbish this week, I'm really struggling for motivation, all 15 of us in the Zoom squad were like, same. And we had no idea that each other felt like that. So actually just being the first person to actually hold your hands up and admit it actually had a comforting effect across the whole squad. And then actually we could get together and say, okay, what are we going to do about it? And if we do wake up feeling like that, how are we going to help each other get out of it? And we all said that trying to clock a session before midday actually helped our mood. Waiting for a session in the evening, actually, amongst some of the girls, actually said it built up a little bit of anxiety because you've got nothing else in your day, and actually you're waiting, thinking about it, maybe thinking it's going to be really hard, maybe making up excuses in your head not to attend. Well, you're a sitting duck at this time. People know that you're not busy. People know that you're in the house. You can't get out of it. So that actually made people feel a little bit vulnerable. And then if you don't do a session, or you do maybe get out of a session, then, a lot of the girls mentioned the feeling of guilt. Actually, I've skipped a session there. I ate maybe something I shouldn't have eaten. It rolls into the next day. I've skipped a couple of days. So actually getting each other out of that, that cycle, and maybe trying to just clock a nice, easy session before midday, as we found it really beneficial.
Yeah, and that importance about speaking, because I know if somebody else hasn't said it, we just think we're the only ones feeling like it. But like you alluded to, so when somebody says it, all of a sudden everyone's going, no, I feel exactly the same. And it is a time of unknown for us all. So it's important that we do speak about those feelings. So Tesni, how is 2020 hopefully going to shape up for you and look for you on the squash side of things? And how are you looking after yourself? Obviously, we spoke about the physical thing of changing up your training, but from a mental point of view, because obviously we spoke about coming back from injury, being ready for competition, and now everything's sort of up in the air.
Yeah, obviously, I think the biggest thing for me is to be honest with myself and with my trainers and coaches and stuff, because I think, as the guy said, like, you think no one else is feeling like how you're feeling, and you do have days where you wake up and you think, I don't feel like doing this session today, or I'm not up for it, I'm demotivated, because we don't have any realistic goals and targets that we don't really know when we're going to compete again. And I think, as Nia said, with the social media and the news and stuff, it's you just get caught up in this whole confused state of like, I have to train, I have to do this, I have to do that. And I think for me, what's really helped is actually just talking to people. And it's not something that is very easy for me to say to certain people. Other people can be really honest with, but for me, it's just been like being really honest and saying, no, you know what, today I don't feel so motivated. But it's having that consistency to keep doing little training sessions or little things here and there that along the way will help at some point. And I found that's been a massive help for me. 2020 for me, I don't know yet. It's all up in the air. As of right now, it's looking like maybe September restart for us. We normally have the summer off anyway, from normally June till August. We normally don't compete at that time anyway, so we've just missed the first part of the season. So right now they're saying September, but obviously it's really hard to tell right now where we're going to go from here.
Yeah, let's hope so. And what about around you, Tesni? What does the support network look like now, where you can sort of debrief and catch up and speak to people?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, I live up in North Wales, so I'm pretty secluded to a lot of the training facilities, obviously down in Cardiff and with Sport Wales. So for me, it's a lot of Zoom calls and keeping up with the guys from down there, and just asking mainly how's training going and how am I feeling, and more things like that, and planning sort of just a week or 2 weeks at a time, just so that it doesn't, you can keep resetting every now and then. But they've been great, and my dad is actually my coach, so I don't live with him, but I get to keep in touch with him obviously all the time, which is pretty cool. Obviously over FaceTime and whatever. So I think as Alid said, I really agree with him that we travel a lot of the time. I spend 9 months of the year away from home, in and out, obviously between weeks and stuff. And I'm a massive home bird as well. I love being at home, and I'm using it as a positive to enjoy spending time here at home. And we actually just got a puppy, which we've been desperate to do for ages, and we thought we may as well use the time wisely and bring him up while we can now. So he's been great as well, to get out and walk him and teaching him things. And so it's using the positives of things like that, really, that I'm really enjoying. And I think we'll all underestimate when we go back to normality, or some sort of normality, and traveling again, that I think we'll realize how much that time we had at home was really beneficial for us, and be in a much better space than we probably were before.
Definitely, I think that is huge for us all. But I understand now why you said you started enjoying walking again. So, because
Exactly, it gives me an enjoyment to do it.
I understand that from having a dog in the house. So, no, I do
Yeah.
understand that completely. No, but it's good to hear that even though things are a bit uncontrollable and it was a tough start to the season, that you're in a pretty good place and you're taking all the positives out of it, not only physically for the recovery, but mentally as well. So it's important that we all can do that through this.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's easy to be down on yourself. And I haven't played a competitive match now since the end of October, due to a little bit of time lapse of a tournament and with injury and stuff. And I think it would be easy to just be like, oh, well, get down on yourself. But you have to be positive. And there's people fighting for their lives in hospital with coronavirus, and we're lucky to have the things that we have, and to be able to still do sport now while we can, and just get through this as best as we can, really.
Definitely. Thank you for that, Tesni. Guys, obviously Sport Wales are running the Be Active Wales campaign, and the mental health as well as the physical health is a huge part of it. So I thank you all for joining us in today. And not only is this video online, that there's lots of others about getting people involved in sports, and lots of different ways. And I think that's the most important. But I just want to say thank you, Nia. Thank you, Alid. Thank you, Tesni, for joining us today, because it's a very important chat that we needed to have about mental health and the pressures that lockdown does put on us, but also making the most of lockdown. So thank you all, guys, for your perspective.
No, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Lloyd.
Thank you for having us.